Okay, hello again everyone, and welcome back to MC. It's been a long time since I made a video in my channel. Okay, so now what am I talking about? You probably know by the title. I'm talking about advancing 2 years in the future. So you can see this is the LG G4 and this is the Xiaomi Mi 4W. So let me make this brightness higher. Okay, so these things are quite old phones. They come from 2014, and this LG G4 is essentially the world record holder for the year of 2014 for the best smartphone camera in DxO mark, because it has a DxO mark rating of 83, I suppose. So now what do we have in these phones? Now with these phones, like the Xiaomi Mi 4W and the G4, we have the Snapdragon 8 series processor, obviously, because these are flagships. I mean, every single, let me explain first. All these phones on here are flagships, so don't expect like mediocre performance from any of these. So okay, so let's talk Antutu benchmark for a while. Benchmarks, okay. What you'd probably normally expect from a phone this old is, there you go, see, 6,000 something in benchmarks. This Mi 4W is running a Snapdragon 801 and it's very smooth up to this day. See, not hidden flag, opening Google Chrome, reactos.org, nothing's wrong. Okay, so this is totally usable. How the G4? The G4 has a Snapdragon 808, which is slightly slower in my experience, with the Mi 4C, which I have but not putting on the stable right now, and the other G4 that I have, that's sadly boot loop, and you can actually see the video of me trying to like re-solder the joint with that magnifying glass thing that really failed epically. Now this still runs smooth as heck. Okay, so this is totally new. What else do we have in these phones? We have, sorry, okay. So we have the lack of NFC. Both these phones do not have NFC. The G5 and the Sony Xperia X Performance that I have, which is quite new to the channel, obviously. You probably don't know I actually have this thing right here. So these both have NFC. And also another trend in glass. Glass on these new 2016 flagships are more curved, like the G5's curve on the top, as you can probably see, and the Sony Xperia's full body curve. And in this era of 2015-2016, the Samsung S7 and S6 have just like evolved to having curves in the design. Okay, so what else aside from this? High resolutions. Okay, high resolutions. Sony is known for having like 4K displays and stuff, but this is still running 1080p. Okay, so let me just turn every single phone on so that, there you go. I mean, this is the G5 SE, so it's running the Snapdragon 652. So the processing power is probably a bit closer to these old flagships, but this is the only version of G5 that does not boot loop. The G4 has no boot loop variant, so I'm stuck to this boot looping variant that has not boot loop. Okay, that's good. Okay, next, let's talk screen sizes. Screen sizes, same thing has been going on across the years. The G4 and the G5 have like, just crank the brightness up, have like Quad HD IPS screens. I mean, every single phone I have is IPS because I quite like IPS and its properties of having like, let me show you the Sony, crazy high brightnesses. And okay, and new IPS displays I've discovered have actually deeper blacks than the old displays. So for example, let me show you the Mi 4 and the Xperia together, side to side. So you can probably see Let me just put the LGs away. Go. Let me go behind the camera, okay? So, probably can't really see it because it's not in focus. Okay, hopefully that is in focus. Actually, I think that's a bit too bright. Let's stop the lens for a while. So, see. So you can probably see that the Sony has a very bright display. This is rated to 628 nits. Let me go. There you go. Oh, that's actually way too bright. Too dark. Okay, so there you go. See. So Sony actually has a way brighter display than the Mi 4. And look at the blacks. I mean, this here, wait, this part right here is totally black, and this part right here is totally black, and you can actually see the difference in blackness between these two displays. So wait, I think this is not, see, it's not in full brightness. Now this totally kills that display. Okay, so point proof, then let me go crank the displays down. Now in performance, obviously I've showed you that the Mi 4W is capable of doing like 66,000 in Antutu benchmark. Let me go show you. Wait, I think I'm gonna be better off in like making the displays crazy bright and stopping my lens on my mirrorless camera to f4. So let's just open Antutu benchmark on here and guess the score. Mine is one of the best scores for the Sony Xperia X performance. Have you guessed? Hopefully you have. And let me tell you, it's quite nice for Snapdragon 820. Look at that. There you go. So it's 15,200. I mean 152,628 compared to that, which is like 66,627. Okay. So what's talk about next? Okay, so let me go focus back down here. Look at Sony. So obviously performance has jumped a lot in these years, and let's go back to f2. So let's go f1.4, measure down to f2. Okay, there you go. So this is f2.8. My mirrorless camera. Okay, now let's talk about let's put the brightness a bit lower first. So brightnesses, yes, they have improved on IPS displays. And what else? Sorry. Okay, so let's put it here. Okay, there you go. Sizes have not really changed, and also there has been a trend of moving to USB-C instead of USB-B. Like as you can see here on this side, these two phones, which are the LG G4 and Mi 4W, both are using USB-B, whereas this G5 right here is using USB-C, and this Sony is actually using USB-B. But this is like a rare thing in 2016, because obviously a lot of manufacturers have been using like USB-C. Like Xiaomi has been using USB-C since their Mi 4C, which runs a Snapdragon 808. Okay, clock speeds. This thing runs way higher than this at 2.5 GHz, and this runs at like 2.2 GHz. They're both quad cores, but I mean this is hexa-core. This I do not know. I forgot exactly what's up with the Snapdragon 652. These things are running quad cores, but they're like totally different generations. I think this is a 12 nanometer processor, it's not 14 millimeter, and this is like 18, I think. Okay. So other things to discuss: cameras. Cameras have developed quite a lot over the time of these two flagships. So this thing was the world like best camera on a cell phone in like 2014, and this is like second to like nothing in 2016, aside from the Google Pixel, which got like 89 in the XO mark, and this thing got like 88, which is like exactly the same as Samsung S8 and S7, which is like quite disappointing. I think we lost this mark because of the crazy high resolution sensor, which is a 23 megapixel sensor. On a huge sensor like this, I mean I say huge because this is a phone, and huge on a phone is like 1/2.3 inches. Now this has a dual camera setup, G5, which is also a new trend in 2016. So manufacturers are like moving to more cameras, more lenses, so that people can actually have like two different focal lengths or like better color and stuff in their phones natively. So Sony hasn't caught up to this trend up to like now, which is like very late, I'd say. But I don't really care about double lenses unless they have like different focals and stuff. I mean, the G5 has this 130-degree FOV lens at f2.4 and this standard lens that has like a 73-degree FOV at f1.8, and that standard lens has a 1/2.8 inch sensor at 16 megapixels, and the wide angle lens has like a 1/3.2 inch sensor at 8 megapixels. Now this I know is a like 1/2.3 inch sensor, which is like probably the same thing you can find in the Phantom 3 and GoPro Hero 4, I'd say. So how about these old cameras? I say old because these are like quite behind those two. This Mi 4W, I don't really know what is in here, but all I know is that this is like quite unremarkable, so just push this thing away. Then for the LG G4, this thing uses the same exact sensor as this. Only thing is that this has like, you can probably see this long piece of glass, which LG has like removed in the G6, so that you have like two individual lenses. And I think the reason of why they actually removed those, I mean that like cover thing, is because the G5 has like a lot of flares, like a ton of flares. If you like exposing 30-second photos and stuff in the night with a tiny light source, maybe like down here. Like, I mean, for example, you have this thing as a light source, like this, and you have this thing like shooting a long exposure thing with a wide angle lens. This light source will like totally overpower the image. Not the same case in the G4. The G4 has like, I think, the same thing inside. Only thing is that the G4 has like less glass in the front, which results in less flare. And also, the G4 can actually shoot RAW, while this thing only can shoot JPEG. But by using like other third-party apps, you can actually get it to shoot in RAW, like Photoshop, Express and stuff. Okay, so the next difference is obviously, let me think. Oh yeah, build language. In 2016, manufacturers are like more onto metal than plastic and leather. I mean, this is like leather, and this is like plastic. Okay, so that's for design language. Then you have also the new trend of the fingerprint sensor and biometric security. So on a G5 you get the fingerprint sensor on the back right here, and the Xperia I get it like on the side, which is quite odd, but it's quite nice actually, for me at least, and for most people out there. So then on these older phones, you have no fingerprint sensors whatsoever. Let's turn all these over. And the next thing is modularity. How easy it is to actually like open the device up. On the G4 it's quite easy to just pop it up. For the V4 it's quite easy to put like a plastic tab under it and just slide around the plastic tab and the back just comes off, revealing a few screws. And once you undo those screws, you're gonna get like every single thing in the phone that you can actually, that you should be accessing to like repair anything inside. The G5 has like this battery module thingy that you can actually put like hi-fi audio and stuff, and also a camera clip. And Sony has no means of essentially opening up, which to some people might be a drawback. I'd say that's a drawback, but then cause this thing is waterproof, I'd say that's like an okay excuse for not having like modularity. I personally like modularity more than like being sealed inside one waterproof casing, like the Galaxy S7 and other phones right now. Okay, so next, audio. Obviously, these things have like older audio, and this has the G5 has a G5 essentially like one of those moto mod things, but it's not moto mod. It's called like this BNO DAC thing that actually amplifies audio through the 3.5mm audio jack on the bottom. So you have one on the top right here, which is the stock one. Then you're gonna have one more if you buy the like the extender down here. Then on the Sony you have like this HSEE Hussey DAC thingy that comes built into the phone. So you don't really need to like buy anything extra to have that. Then what else should I say? Speakers, no, nothing really different between these speakers. These are bottom facing, this is back facing, which I hate the most, because you're essentially blasting out sound behind the phone, which is not facing you. And this has like two front facing speakers, which are very clear, but are not very loud. So for playing audio in a room, I'd rather choose this. For watching YouTube, I'd rather choose this. And for other things, I'd rather choose nothing else. Okay, durability. This like lineup of phones I have right here are flagships, and flagships are mostly, according to me, unstable, and not stable as like mid-range phones. So if you want actually like stability and build quality, I'd say flagships are more on build quality. Like this thing's heavy as a brick, like literally. But once you break a flagship, you're really not gonna like fix it once it's like this old, because you're probably like gonna change it with like a newer model. Like for example, this it breaks, you're gonna probably like buy an XC2 or an XC1. With this Mi 4, you're probably gonna get like a Mi 6. With the G4 and G5, you're probably gonna get like a V30 or a V35 or a LG G7 ThinQ. Okay, so what else should I say? Oh yeah, quick charge. This thing right here is quick charge to 3.0 enabled in the SoC, which is a Snapdragon 820, but has a micro USB. And this actually will charge in quick charge 3.0, but charging in 3.0, charging in quick charge 3.0 will actually make this thing like very hot, this Xperia. So I advise against it. And with the G5, it's actually native, and it actually gets quite hot, but not as hot as the Xperia, because this thing charges through a micro USB-C port. Now these two are limited to fast charge 2.0, because they use like micro USB ports instead of these. Instead of this micro USB-C port. Now what else should I talk about? Oh yeah, what we expected a long time ago. Long time ago, we expected every single generation of phone to be like double or even triple the speed of the last generation. For example, this to this, we have like almost 3 times our speed increase between this, which is the Mi 4W, and this, which is the Sony Xperia X Performance, which is quite obvious because we're skipping 2 years, but 2 years have passed, and 2015, I'd say, is the most essentially unremarkable year in flagship phone history. Android phone history, Android flagship phone history. Okay, so because in 2015 what was launched? the Snapdragon 810, 816 I'd say, yeah. So those two chips were quite unremarkable and were actually slower than the 801. After the attempt of the 808, which is actually also slower than the 801, which is quite bad for like Qualcomm's reputation, I'd say. But the 820 was way faster, which is okay. Good job. The 830 was a failure with the OnePlus 4 and the Zenfone Z1 being cancelled off, and the Snapdragon 835 was a big hit, and then the Snapdragon 845 is also now a big hit by the time of this video. Okay, so and I mean, talking about why should you actually get one of these old flagships aside from like one of those budget, I say budget phones, because there is actually like way more expensive than flagships, but then they're actually rubbish in theory. So like budget flagship, I'd say, I mean not budget flagship, I mean budget phone, I'd say, as a category, like budget phone category, that's what I'm gonna say, is actually a category that defines phones that actually cost about under $400 and are phones that average people would use and not like flagships like this. But I still do have a reason for you guys to buy flagships. And one, you're gonna have a lot of support across years. I mean, you know, you obviously know the program, like that Android One program thing from Google. 2 years of guaranteed updates. Okay, that's cool. But thing is, this Mi 4 has had updates for the last 4 years and hasn't stopped updating. It has slowed down updating, but it has not stopped totally. The G4 and G5, I mean, this is I think the AT&T G4, let me check. Oh no, it isn't. Okay, so, oh yeah, this is AT&T, I think. It should be. Yeah, it is, I think AT&T. So this should be AT&T, but I don't think it is. I don't know. All I know is that the old G4 that I actually put a magnifying glass over is AT&T. All these are phones are global phones, and essentially the G5 has gotten very rarely. I mean, has like got updates, but very rarely. So that's like a bad part of LG. Probably LG has thought like most of their phones are dead by now. So like, oh, the G5 and G4 are like Bluetooth phones, so they're not gonna really care about the users of these phones, because these phones are gonna be dead in like 1 year probably, according to them. But I still have this and this, G4 and G5, and hopefully these phones won't boot up on me. Okay, so next comes to point to LG and I mean Xiaomi and Sony. Xiaomi has been updating this for a very long time, but has stopped updating the Mi 4C, which has a Snapdragon 808 like this one, like the G4. Yeah. So I'd say for the Snapdragon 808, just avoid it, because obviously the 808 is like lesser in performance than the 801. And so let me show you how the industry in smartphones have been like developing since the Snapdragon 800, which is, I'd say, the first genuine like flagship processor in a handset. So my finger down here represents like the graph thing. So I mean, watch this on your screen, like your screen's the graph. Okay, so this is Snapdragon 801, which is like a significant improvement since the Snapdragon 400, I'd say. Yeah. So then Snapdragon 800 to 801 gone way up, 801 to 808 gone way down, 808 to 806, I mean 810, it went a little bit up, but had like crazy heating issues, so that's like out of question, like do not buy the 810. Then after the 810, it went up again to the Snapdragon 820, and then up again to the Snapdragon 821. Then after that, it went up again to the Snapdragon 835, and up again to the Snapdragon 845. And by that time, the Snapdragon 820 has like only a very small room to improve performance, like in contrast to the Snapdragon 845, which has like probably twice the speed of this Snapdragon 820. I mean, not really twice, probably 1.5 times the speed of this. Long time ago we expected like hundreds of percent increase in like speed for phones. So focus on the G4 right here. This, I mean, focus on the Mi. Go see. This was a huge improvement, this Mi 4 over the Mi 3. This is a huge performance upgrade over the Mi 4, the Xperia. But thing is, for example, let's say we have like a mystery phone out there. There you go. I'll focus like far away on there. Okay. Let's say we have the OnePlus 6 on the far end there. That OnePlus 6 is going to have maybe maximum 1.7 times the performance of the Sony X performance. And why is that? The smartphone industry has actually like reached a limiter in what they can actually achieve in these tiny handsets, I'd say, because of the limitations like computing power you can actually bring without like crazy thermal cooling like the ROG phone and the Razer phone, which have like huge heat pipes in the phone. So to what I'd say, I'd rather buy a old flagship like this than one of these new flagships. I mean, as I said before, I only moved to this Snapdragon 820 because this Mi 4W did not support 4G. So then what else? Oh yeah, in audio, I mean, these are not really speakers, but microphones. These things have gone way up, I'd say, versus these phones, which have like single mono microphones right here, and this one has the one like right here. So yeah, that's into the user experience from any company that wants to actually like provide the phone for us. So that's probably it from me. Thank you everyone for watching. Hopefully you like this. This is probably the first video I filmed on my Olympus EPM1, like singularly on the Olympus EPM1, which is quite awesome, I'd say, using 50mm f1.4 lens to shoot a video. So thumbs up if you like the video, thumbs down if you dislike it. Comment down if you have any questions like regarding these phones or any other phone in the market. Yeah, please subscribe if you want to subscribe. I'm not gonna force you guys to like click the bell icon, subscribe and stuff. I'm not gonna force you guys to do that, so do that on your own. Thank you if you do. If you don't, then yeah, it's up to you. So thank you and goodbye. See you next time in another video.